welcome to the Knitting Project. My name is Sharon and I'm coming to you from a very blustery day here in Surrey in the UK. This is episode 123 and today is 21st of February 2022. Straight up off the top we have a Storm Franklin blowing through right now, and although it's actually a really lovely sunny day right now, it is very windy, so if you hear any ambient noise, I'm really sorry. There's not much I can do about it. It's a storm. We survived Eunice without too many issues. Hoping we'll survive Franklin too. She's not, or she or he is not supposed to be as violent, so hopefully we'll get through this okay. So this is my knitting project, all about my crafting life. I've got a few bits and pieces to share today. So welcome if you are a new viewer, welcome back if you are a returning viewer. If you haven't watched me before, I have a rolling rotation of whips. Normally it's over 6 days, but at the moment it's only over 4. So I've got 4 different projects to show you, although actually 5. I've got one old friend that's making a reappearance. I have some stitching and I have some journaling, so it should be a good episode today. I am going to record the prize winners video today as well. I need to find the prizes, and because I've re-sorted out all my room, I've moved stuff, so I need to locate all the prize box. It's a big box, it's got to be around somewhere, so I need to find the big box, sort out the prizes and get that done, and I'm hoping that that will be on the end of this video. If not, it'll be a standalone video, but it'll be somewhere very soon. Right, shall we get into the actual knitting? So day one is socks, and I guess I've got an old friend for this as well, but I'm going to start with this one. So this is hanging out in my little Sherry Iris daisy bag, which actually is just as pretty at the back as it is at the front. And these are my gingerbread socks. So this is the Lay Family Yarn Gingerbread House colourway, which is so pretty. There we go. And if you remember last week, I had finished the first sock. I was lucky enough to go to the cinema on Wednesday to see Belfast. Really good film, really enjoyed it. So I cast on the second sock, and I'm just doing a little, that's just literally the cast on. It's not a first row, it's just a cast on. And then I've done a 2x2 twisted rib, so I did that at home, and then I was going to knit in the cinema, but I didn't in the end. But I did knit on the way there and on the way back, so I've got a little bit of leg done. But I love this colourway, it's so pretty and it sparkles, so lovely. I love the neon pops, there's some real neon green in there. So I didn't get an awful lot done on that, but I did get some done. I got that cast on, which I was really pleased about. I would have got more had I knit in the cinema, but it was going to be quite awkward where we were sitting to knit, and I didn't really want to annoy my neighbour, so I didn't. I went with Meg. It was really good. As I said, the film was Belfast. If you get a chance to see it, go see it. It's a really good film. That's the first sock. So the second sock, as I said, it's kind of an old friend in actual fact. So I think I showed you this last week, and this is it's the Miss March collection. These are the Beth socks, which I was got to test knit for the Lonely Knitter. So this is Lonely Knitter Designs, and that's how it looks. So I did my test knit. I did that. So I finished my first sock, which looks lovely. It's going to look much better when it's blocked. So I got my first sock finished, and then something this week made me want to pick it up again. And I did, and bearing in mind I hadn't even cast this on the last time you saw it, I'm actually at the toe. How amazing is that? This pattern absolutely flies by because of the way the kind of the little diamonds are. You're kind of just onto the next diamond, onto the next diamond, and you don't stop. So the way this is done, you've got the pattern down the side. It'll look so much better when these are blocked. But yeah, I managed to get up to the toe, which I was really pleased about last night. And it just flew off the needles. So I'm going to do my toe tonight. And so hopefully next time you see these will be blocked, and on a sock blocker are much easier to show on the podcast. I can probably pop my hand in there. There we go. Really pretty little diamond pattern down the side. And this is, the yarn is Bumbling yarns. So that's the Bumbling yarns yarn, and it is, hopefully I've got it in here. No, that's the self-striping sock club that I've got in here. I think it's Sweet Pea. I think I used Victoriana in something else. So I think this is Sweet Pea. It's either Sweet Pea or Victoriana. Hopefully at some point, Laura, when you're watching, you will know. You can comment down below. It's really pretty. So delicately speckled. Couldn't say that. Delicately speckled. There we go. It's, yeah, really pretty, and I think I'm going to have enough left over to make some shorty socks out of it, so I'm going to do that as well. And yeah, I just love it. So really got on with that. And hopefully, as I said, by next week you will see that will be an FO. That was a surprise cast on. Wasn't expecting to cast that on, but we'll go with it. At least that'll be an old whip nearly finished, which would be fabulous. And that's also living out in a Sherry Iris bag. It's one of my favourite bags. Love that bag. So that's day 1 socks. Day 2 is my Brioche Adventure wrap. And we are let's see if I can find the picture. Okay, you can find a picture. Actually, I'll give you that one because that's a slightly different angle for looking at it. So, and this is by Jonatan Tollow. It's really pretty, and I'm really enjoying knitting it. So, just for a moment there, I thought I was mid-row, but I'm not. I was where the little teddy bear was last time you saw this. So I was there, and I have done the whole of that section there, and I'm just about to change colour. So I've just done my first row. No, there's definitely supposed to be another colour attached. There is supposed to be a pink attached to this. There it is. So I'm putting those two together now. So I have actually started the next section. I've got a couple in, so that's the pink side, and then that's the orange side. It's so pretty. So this is what it's looking like. And yeah, I love it. It's so pretty. This bit's got a bit blendy, hasn't it? You can't really see it. Is it any better on the other side? Little bit better on the other side. That's nowhere near as blendy, is it? No, it's double-sided, being brioche, and this is my first brioche project ever, so there are lots of mistakes, but they're staying in as a memory of my first brioche. But I love it. And the yarn I'm using is a 4-ply yarn, and it's my Advent from Lay Family Yarn in 2020. And I've got loads left over from each ball. I'll show you a leftover ball, shall I? So I've got loads left over. I haven't weighed it, but there's definitely enough to do another whole project out of the leftovers. And oh yeah, it's such a lovely knit. And I think I'm on, what am I on now? Should we count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm on the 17th colour. So not long to go now, and then this one will be off the needles. Then I have an awful lot of ends to sew in because I didn't do that as I was going along, and I think we've decided we're blocking it, if only because my edges need a bit straightening. But, oh, it's really pretty. I really like it. I think there's a good chance that I would make another one. And I could become addicted to brioche because I really enjoyed that too. So I'm using 2.5mm needles, and I should have been using 3.5, which is probably why I've got so much yarn left over. But I'm not complaining, and I think it'll be a good kind of large scarf wrap size to go round because it's quite wide. It's going to be quite long, so I think it will be. I think if you block it, it'll probably stretch as well. So it's already way past my wingspan. So yeah, way past my wingspan. Yeah. So I think it'll be long enough to wrap around without too much trouble. I really love it. So that's that one. So that's my day 2 at the moment. And that's hanging out in an elderflower stitches bag, which it doesn't really fit into anymore, but I love the bag, so we're trying to make it work for the moment. So that's day 2. Day 3 is my Felix pullover, and that's living in my Savory bag. I love this bag. I'll show you the inside of this bag in a minute. This is just one big tangle. It's a big mess coming out. Right, so yeah, that's the bag inside. Isn't that pretty? I love that fabric. I'd like this bag either way around, if I'm honest. Whether it had the hearts on the inside and the gingham on the outside, or the other way around as well. I love this bag. So that's the bag. So this is the Felix, and this is by Savory Knitting. And we have yarn everywhere and needles everywhere. I apologise for catching the needles on the desk last week. I'm going to try not to do that this week because it was really annoying. So I've done one sleeve. Now I haven't done a tapered sleeve. I did it straight, and then I did all the decreases before the rib, because that's the kind of sleeve I like. I like it slightly blousy. It's not mega blousy, it's not going to fold over, but it's kind of quite a pretty blousy. And I was where that stitch marker is, which is the little cherries, which is a stitch marker, I think that's from Candy Mint Apple, and goes all the way down there. And then I managed to start my sleeve on this side too. This has been a bit of my go-to project if I'm diving out of the house, because I'm just on the sleeves. So I'm just going round and round on the sleeves. It's a bit like a giant sock. So we've got that sleeve kind of under construction, and it really is looking like a little jumper now, isn't it? I think once you get the sleeves on, they really do look like little jumpers, and it really kind of motivates you. It motivates me, so this is the reason I do the sleeves. I've got 2 reasons. One's practical and one's mental. Practically, there's an awful lot of less fabric to wrangle around to do the sleeves if you do it before you do the rest of the body. So that's the practical side of it. It's just easier to do the sleeves at this stage. The other practical side is if you're running out of yarn, which I'm not with this project, but if you were to be running out of yarn, you know that if you've done your sleeves and your neck, so I would do my neck if it hadn't got a neck on it already, you know, all your leftover yarn you can use in your body. So it's got a couple of practical uses, but also mentally, I know that once I'm done the sleeves, all I have to do is the body to finish it, which is really, really exciting and kind of really eggs me on to get it done. So yeah, this is beautiful yarn. It's even got pops of colour in it. I don't know if it's coming out on camera just how, can you see the pink there, how variegated this yarn is. So it's a commercial yarn. It's got another bit there, but it's got a real depth of colour to it. It's not just a flat colour, it's really, really variegated. I do like that. And then, so this is it's James C. Bratt Aztec Aran, Now it has got mohair in it. No, it hasn't got mohair in it, sorry. It's got alpaca in it. So it's 90% acrylic, 10% alpaca. And it does get up my nose. It says it's machine washable, but being alpaca I probably wouldn't do that. And this is colour AL04. So that's the ball band. And yeah, it is, it's really soft. I mean, it's super soft. I'm not going to have any trouble wearing it in that respect. It's just whether it will make me sneeze. And so far I have used, so these are 100-gram balls of Aran. And so far I have used, this is 2 balls. And this is the biggest size. So it's a big size because I'm doing it oversized. And it's having said that, I haven't done all the increases down the I've done all the increases down the raglan. I haven't done the depth of the raglan because I thought that was going to be way too long if I added all the depth to the raglan too. So I modified it there, and as I said, I've modified the sleeves. I'm not doing decreases in the sleeves, but I am decreasing when I get to the cuff. It's a great pattern, absolutely recommend the pattern. This is the Felix Pullover by Savory Knitting, and it is an absolutely fabulous pattern. Really enjoying it. And, you know, nice to have a jumper that's going to be in a commercial yarn and something I'm going to really enjoy wearing. I'm just going to see if I can find a price point for it. See whether you can get it. So I've just had a quick look up, and you can get it on Wool Warehouse for £2.79 per ball, or Lovecrafts for £2.99. So it is still available. So far this jumper would have cost me, so call it £3, £6. That's not bad, is it? I think when I bought this it would probably be a little bit cheaper because it was a long while ago. But so at the moment that's about £6 for a jumper. Yeah, and it's lovely yarn. And yeah, so that's my day 3 project. So day 4 is my Squiddle Village blanket, and that's hanging out in this project bag here. I'm just cracking on with adding the months in. I'm not worrying about joining in. I'm joining in with the knit along, but I'm not worrying about prizes because I'm not doing them in the months. So I'm just cracking on with it. So this is January, February and March, and it's all in. So this is what the blanket is looking like. So if I hold it there, yeah, you can start seeing it. Oh, and I love it so much. It's such a fun thing. It's fabulous colours, and yeah, I love it. So the Squiddle Village minis are from Lay Family Yarn, and this is their collection for this year. So this is January, February and March, and I stopped it there this week because I hadn't got April at that point. I have now got it. That's in Happy Mail. So once I've got it out of Happy Mail, I can start adding it in. And my squares are 6 rounds of granny clusters. So you've got the 3 trebles to make a granny stitch. So there's 6 rounds of those, and each time I finish a round, I stop and then I slip stitch it and then go back the other way. So you get very square squares, which is nice. So it's not really a right and a wrong side. And then I'm joining it with a single crochet all the way down the middle. So I'm joining that square to that square, and then that square to that square, all the way along. So I've got one long strip, and then when I've got one long strip, I will join it at the bottom to the previous strip. So then I join that square to that square, etc. So that's how I'm joining them in, and you're getting like this quilted effect almost. So long time viewers will have seen my Christmas blanket, which I did this way, and yeah, love it. Really like how this is turning out. So I've got 12 squares in a row. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 3 months gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. So I get 5 rows out of 3 months, so that's 10 rows out of 6 months, that's 20 rows, so it'll be 12 by 20. So it's going to be a very rectangular shaped blanket, but I love it. It's really soothing to work on because it's just mindless crochet. Last month's and March's ones, I didn't join as I went. I did all the squares and then did all the joining. And I have to say that wasn't horrendous. I quite enjoyed doing all the squares and then doing all the joins and joining it to the one at the bottom and then sewing it in. So I might try that again this month and see how I get on with that. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. So I am using, because I always forget to show you my hook, I'm using this as my joining colour. This is also Squiddle Village and is Deep Breath. And I'm using, okay, my crochet hook seems to have disappeared. There we go. I am using a 3mm clover crochet hook, which I love, so that's what I'm using for that one. That's the end of the knitting project as such. I've got my square a day to share with you. So I swapped out my square a day. My square a day blanket that I was doing is sitting in hiatus temporarily because I really wanted to work on this one, and originally I was going to put it into the Squiddle Village slot when I wasn't working on Squiddle Village, which I did, and then I decided I just want to work on it, so I've put it in my square a day slot. So I'm calling this my gentle blanket because it's such pretty gentle colours. It started off as a different blanket, but now it is it's done as a mitered square blanket, and it's all done in hedgerow yarns. Hedgerow yarn minis. So I think last week when I did Happy Mail, I had my hedgerow yarn minis. I think it just inspired me. I wanted to work on this again. So these are the squares I've done. So all the ones with little progress keepers on are the squares. I love that colour, the squares I've done. And I didn't quite get this morning's square finished before I had to start recording the podcast. So this is how it's looking, and I absolutely adore this. I adore this so much. I'm looking forward to working on it every morning, and oh, I honestly think if I had to live on a desert island and take one project, it would be this. Because of the variety, as long as I could have my minis too, because of the variety, and it's just me. It's so calm and gentle, and as I said, I've called it my gentle blanket, and I love it so much. I would happily work on this all the time. So that's my gentle blanket. I love it. It's going to go down the caravan eventually. Or I might replace one of the blankets I've got here, like that one. So that's a Cosy Memory blanket from a different year. Oh, that's 2019. It's got a tag on it. So that I might pop that down the caravan and then keep this one in here. Because it would go really well, wouldn't it? Actually, it'd almost be camouflaged. But yeah. Yeah, love it. Love working on that. And that's hanging out in my giant Mrs. Brown's bucket. So that chair is supposed to be going in the lounge. It was being evicted from here, and I put it there temporarily with that blanket over it. But Demi's adopted it, so Demi sleeps on there all the day. So I've kind of had to leave it in here so that Demi can sleep on it. I mean, it's not really in the way. It's fine. Right, what are we on to next? What comes next normally? Should I do stitching, then Happy Mail, then journal? Yeah. So stitching is kind of a journal as well. You saw this under construction last week. This is going to be my perpetual stitching journal, and for the month of January I wanted to do this image, which is the Little Mermaid, which is the panto that Meg was in at the end of last year, beginning of this year. It's the 2022 panto, and she did the artwork for it, so she drew this, and I wanted her to draw me a little one so I could stitch it for my journal, and this is how it's turned out. I'm so pleased. So that's my Little Mermaid. So I've pencil coloured in the rock because I just didn't think I could stitch that properly to do that justice, so I thought I'd just pencil that in. I've stamped 2022, but I've embroidered the mermaid itself. So yeah, I was really pleased how that turned out. So that's January done for this year. I shall move on to February. Thank you for the suggestions of how to deal with my back. So that's my back so far. I mean, it's not horrendous, but obviously you can see the stitching. But I might just do another page and sew the pages together, but obviously embroider on that page before I sew it together. Or just felt back it like somebody suggested and have individual pages for each month, which also might be a lot easier. So I may felt back it because I've got lots of lovely felt actually, so I could felt back it. Or I could just leave it because, you know, not horrendous if I'm honest. I haven't snipped an end there, but yeah, it's not horrendous, the back of that. So the idea is next January I will do something else. These will probably always be the pantos. It'll probably always be something from the pantos. The year before, well, not the year before because I didn't have one the year before, but the year before that she was Aladdin, so I could have just done a little lamp. And I don't know what next year's going to be yet, so no idea what I'll do for next year's. February's originally was going to be a snowdrop because that's when I first saw the snowdrops out, but equally I've got daffodils out now in the garden and in the house because I had to rescue some of my daffs from the storm yesterday because the storm had flattened them, so I went and cut them and put them in the house, so they're out in the kitchen. I noticed it didn't take them long to come out, so I could do a daffodil, but equally I'm also thinking I might do a sort of a tree like leaning over to represent the storm. So yeah, don't know about that one yet. That one's under construction. So the idea is I work on this on a Sunday. So next Sunday I'm going to set up my February page. So probably just embroider February at the top and do whatever I'm going to do as my edging. I also thought I might put a little pocket in the front here, just stick a pocket on, and then kind of keep my inspiration photos and things in it. I think that might be quite a nice thing to do. So yeah, that's what I'm doing on a Sunday. I'm enjoying that. Right, so Happy Mail. So this is Squiddle Village pack for April. Very pretty colours. And I get 2 squares out of each one of these minis. So I can carry on doing these now and pop that through, which I'm quite looking forward to, I have to say. I love this one. That's really pretty. And they're just so, the depth of colour in them as well, can you see? They're not flat colours. There's loads of different colours in each one of them. That's pretty. That's coming out prettier actually on camera. Yeah, just love this. So they are going to come into my blanket next. And now I've shown you I can actually use them. So that's it for Happy Mail. Very light week for Happy Mail this week. I'm not quite sure where my mail is. I have ordered more stuff, it just is not here. So I was going to show you something else I've been working on journal wise. So this is a bullet journal I got for Christmas. I don't bullet journal as such, but I have been following a couple of YouTube accounts and a couple of Instagram accounts, I thought, well, I might do a little, trying to keep it as a tracker almost. So there's some bits and pieces that have kind of given me some inspiration. What's the girl's name? Hold on, let me just see if I can find her on YouTube. Amanda Rach Lee. She's doing some great spreads. So anyway, so this I got off of Pinterest, which I kind of liked. And I'm not artistic at all, so I'm kind of quite pleased with these. So that was my 2022. And the idea was, I thought I'd like do 2022 of each of the things that I think of to put in here, and then keep this until it runs out. So I'd start 2023, I'd put another one on. I might buy some tags or make some tabs so that I know that that says 2022, and then when I've got 2023 I can have 2023, but for the moment we've only got 1 year. So one of the things that I did want to do is I've started reading physical books, but actually, to be fair, this includes Audible books and Kindle books, because I do all three, and I can't be bothered to do Kindle, Audible and physical books. I know which ones are which. I don't need to display that, if you see what I mean. So I've done two things. I've done how many books will I read this year and a book stack. So how many books will I read this year is this spread here. Basically it's a bookcase. Again, I've got this off of Pinterest, and I've tried to keep the theme of the branches and the leaves, because I quite like how that looks throughout each of these pages. So in this one it's in some hanging flowers. So far this year I've read 3 books, which are up the top there. Now these are just coloured in pencil, and it relates to my book stack here that starts at the bottom, and the idea is you can see the colour there. The first colour there is a pale blue, so I've coloured that one down the bottom is a pale blue, and that's the Discovery of Witches. So that was book 1, and I listened to that on Audible. And then book 2 is that yellow, and down there is the yellow, and that's The Winter Ghosts by Kate Moss. I also read that on Audible, listened to that on Audible. And then The Bear and the Nightingale, which is the purple one, that was a physical book, and I'm reading the sequel to that at the moment, and it's a physical book before I go to bed. And it's got the book stack with the vines at the top there. And then I decided I wanted to do something with my knitting projects, because this is my knitting journal. You may have seen this before if you're a long-term viewer of the podcast, and it's getting quite full now. So there's an index at the back, which I have, this is a cover by the way, which I have colour coordinated. So basically the little square at the beginning is the year it was started, and then it's got, when I've coloured it in, I finished it, and it's that the colour I've coloured it in is the year I finished it. So for instance, blue is 2019 and pink is 2021. So it's by Mason Shawl. I started in 2019 but finished in 2021. So I've got this, but as I've discovered recently, I'm awful about filling it in, like absolutely awful. And I've just done my Brioche Adventure wrap isn't in here, and the last thing I put in here was my Snuggle Down cowl. Well, I'm sure I've knit other things since then. In fact, I know I have, because I've gifted one to a friend. So I'm awful about keeping this up to date. Now I will happily go back and put them in retrospectively, that's not a problem. And I mean, I love how it looks when you flick through it and you can see everything. It's just so nice to go through it all and look back on the projects that you've done. You know, I try to put in a photograph of the project and maybe some ball bands and some yarn, and you know, it's great to look back on. That was my Christmas blanket, look, that's how it looked. But I don't keep it very up to date, and I don't automatically think the minute I cast something on, I need to put it in here and I need to date it, etc, etc. But I would like to keep this up to date. So what we're doing is, as we're working on things, we're going to add them in here. So this is the layout I did. It's so simple. It was just projects at the top. It's got date, name, yarn and finished. So in this case I've got 22nd of the 1st 2022 is when I started my Felix pullover. At least I think it is. Again, that's not in my diary, and the earliest photo I can find of it on my phone was that date, so we're going to go from there. So it's the Felix pullover, the yarn is Aztec Aran, and then I'll have a finish date. And then I've got my the 9th of the 6th 2018 is my gentle Cosy Memory blanket. It was actually a different blanket at that point, but I've changed it into a Cosy Memory blanket, and that's hedgerow yarns. So the idea is, every time I pick up a project now, like today is, what is today? Today is my brioche shawl, so I will go back, I'll work out what I started my brioche shawl, put in the name, put in the yarn, so I can look back on here when I started bits, so that when I've got a minute I can update this and get this finished, which I would really like to do. I think there are going to be some bits I miss, unless I go through all my podcasts, which includes Vlogmas for October, November and December. I think I'm going to be missing some of these. So the last time I did an update in here, let's have a look. I've got my Snuggle Down Cow, Baby It's Cold Outside socks, Sherry Iris Vanilla socks, Flower Crown socks, that was a while ago. Mystery Gnome, that's September. So my last Rainbow Chronicle socks in here, for instance, are August. So that is going to be some major catching up, to be honest. That's going to be some major catching up. I might actually finish this if I'm not careful. Okay, so I need to, I guess if I go back on all my Chronicle socks, that'll give me a starting place. So basically I need to go back to the August. Oh, like that's ever going to happen. Although, as we know, I'm not that great about finishing stuff, I'm just really good about starting stuff. But as I said, at least now this, I've just got to write that in quickly on each of these pages. I don't have to do anything else, and then I can transfer it to the main book when I have time and I feel like it and I'm in the mood. So that's as far as I've got so far. I did totally stole this from Sandra of Cherry Heart. Just did the line, the name across the top there, and then did cut it off so I could just do a flap. So I'm not anticipating I'll work on any more than those projects this year, but if I do, I'll just do another spread. That's not an issue. So now my next page is blank, and I don't know what else I'm going to track. But as things occur to me, I'm going to put them in here. And if that's all that I end up with for 2022, then actually both things are really interesting things I'd like to track, so I'm really happy with that. So I haven't got much more news from the knitting project. We didn't go away last weekend because of the storm, and we are supposed to go away this weekend, but there's another storm kind of predicted, so I don't know whether we'll do that either. Otherwise I've just been enjoying crafting. I haven't finished sorting out this space yet. I am enjoying doing so, and I want to do it slowly and kind of carefully. But yeah, it's going to be a long job, I think. Otherwise, I think you've seen everything I've been up to. I've just been journaling a lot and crafting a lot, cooking dinners, cleaning. You know, that's always fascinating, isn't it? Patreon. Right, so Patreon. I am going to suspend my Patreon account from the end of this month because I don't think I can do it justice in March with the wedding coming up. So I'm going to suspend now, and we will revisit it in the summer when I've got more time to devote to it, I think. But thank you to those people who have been Patreons. I very much appreciate you. If you want to support me in any way at all, I would be grateful, and I do have a Ko-fi account, so you can indeed support me that way, and it is linked below. But that's it. So that's it from me this week. I hope you're all okay wherever you are. Take care, and I will see you next week. Okay, so we're doing the drawers. We are doing the drawers. Number 1, which is November, which will be this lovely yarn from Felt Fusion. And this is for the stripy sock cowl. And we've got 33 entries on Ravelry and 1 entry on Instagram. So we have got between 2 and 34. So we'll ask our friend to do it. Alexa, pick a number between 2 and 34.
Here's a number between 2 and 34. It's 19.
Okay, so let's see who number 19 is. Bear with. 19 is Blue Ins 1. So that's Blue Ins 1, who is in Canada and is Nina. Okay, so that is the first one. Right, let's sort out December's. So next up is December, and December is getting this lovely yarn from Gamer Crafting. I have a pair of socks in this yarn, I adore it. I'm not sure how I ended up with 2 of these, but I did. So that's going for December. And we've got 46 entries on Ravelry and 2 entries on Instagram. So that is, Alexa, please can you choose a number between 2 and 48?
Here's a number between 2 and 48. It's 15.
15. Right, let's see who 15 is. Be on the first page on Rav, I think. There we go. Riendell 97. REENDEL 97, who is Marie from Somerset. So for the end of the year for the square a day cowl, I've got this lovely set from Lone, who is a lonely sock lady, and these minis that were donated by my lovely friend Kate. So they're going to go together as the FO bundle. So there's a lot of lovely minis to start you off for this year's blanket. And we have got 11 entries on Rav, but the first entry is my lovely friend Ali's post. So Alexa, pick a number between 2 and 11, please.
Here's a number between 2 and 11. It's 8.
8. So come on down, number 8. Oh, that is beautiful. Wow, what a blanket. So this is Kim's True Colours, and oh, if you get a chance, have a look at her blanket. It's beautiful. It's got stars and everything on it. It's really, really pretty. So this is Kim's True Colours. And I know you've won before, Kim. Can you drop me an email, because I can't remember your details and you haven't got your name etc on Rav. So yeah, drop me a line. In fact, all prize winners either message me on Ravelry or email me, which is actually the better way of doing it, on scr1tno@outlook.com. And lastly, we have got the grand draw for the end of the year socks. So for that, I've got a few bits and pieces. I have got a sock club from West Green Loft Yarns. So it's got a mini and a main skein. I think that's a 50-gram skein. It might be 100. Not sure. It's got that one. I've got some minis from the Yarn Lab. So if you want to make scrappy socks. I have got some lovely stitch markers from my friend Katie, who is Candy Mint Apple. And this beautiful book, which is Socks from the Toe Up, donated by my lovely friend Kate. So thank you very much for that. So let's see who won. This is a Ravelry one, because nobody has tagged me in any posts for finished socks on Instagram. So let's have a look. I know my friend, our lovely moderator Ali, sorted all this out for me. Here we go. 12 months of socks. So there's 15 entries. That's a lot of you that did 11 months of socks. So that's 15. Let's see what we can get on there. So Alexa, choose a number between 2 and 15. No? Alexa, choose a number between 2 and 15.
Here's a number between 2 and 15. It's 12.
She got there eventually. So who is number 12? Ah, I know this one. Little Angel 2, which is Sarah. Well done, Sarah. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so Sarah, get in touch with me, although I think I have got your address somewhere, but just in case you've moved or anything since I last spoke to you. I also know you're really busy and won't necessarily watch this, so I will message you as well. Yeah, so well done to all the prize winners. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get this done, but we're done, we're sorted. Prizes are allocated. I know what I'm doing. Finally, I did just about get it done before the next prize draw. Right, so I'm going to love you and leave you there, and congratulations to the winners.